took things for granted back then, you know?
We all do kind of meld into this monoculture when you're in an international school space.
Yeah. Everything you do is how can I make it easier for others? I used to say my name is Nakul. I used to say it in a way that sounded Western.
Yeah.
Because it's actually, I mean, if you say it in the Indian way, it's Nakul. That space is probably the only space even today where I can still feel probably as close to 100% myself, is in like a dance team or in a dance room. I can be gay, I can be big energy, I can be whatever it is, and I feel like in that dance space, I can be all those things. It was really one of the few places where I could still feel very free, where I felt like in other aspects of my life, especially closeted, I couldn't be that way.
Your passion doesn't have to be what you do as a career.
You can keep it more fun if it's not your career, but 3 to 5 hours a week is better than 0.
Episode of Trying Very Hard. Today we have another guest with us today who is a dear friend and who has been carrying joy across countries and life chapters. He is Indian born, third culture kid. He grew up in Jakarta, went to school in Vancouver, worked in Vancouver, and we're now lucky to have him with us in Singapore.
Yeah.
His name is Nakul Malik, works in education. And in this season of his life, he's probably trying very hard at a lot of things, but one of the things is bringing back Bollywood dance into his life and into the lives of others. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about TCK culture, all sorts of stuff. We can get into it.
Nakul,
Yes.
tell us a little bit more about yourself.
As you introduced, I was born in Mumbai, but we moved to Jakarta when I was 1.5, and then obviously was in JIS for 14 years, which is a long time. So I was in JIS for a really long time.
Wow.
My parents were applying for Canadian PR, and so then Canada made the kind of appropriate kind of next step for my sister and I, and ended up in Vancouver. But it's funny, I was going to talk about this later, but actually a big reason why I chose to go to UBC is because they had a Bollywood dance team.
Oh.
And that was actually one of the criteria for me when choosing university. I mean, it had to be within Vancouver, within Canada.
Yeah.
I was looking around and I was considering, but one of the criteria would be they had to, but a big criteria was, do they have a Bollywood dance team?
Was it because you were interested in Bollywood specifically, or did you use that almost as a proxy for like diversity and?
No, I knew that like I wanted to be
on
a dance team at a university level dance team.
Oh.
Yeah. And then eventually we became competitive and we flew around like North America competing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, dance moms.
But I think, there was an interest. There was other criteria that came into it as well. But it is something I share with my students now, because I'm just like, what is important to you?
Yeah.
What matters to you in life, and how you when you're looking for the right place for you.
Yeah.
What does it look like beyond academic?
Picking UBC because it had a specific like Bollywood dance team. Was that because growing up it was such a big part of your life, or because growing up that was lacking, that you were kind of searching for like, how do I tie back to my roots?
So, interesting. I was thinking about this quite a bit. That wasn't really why I chose Bollywood, interestingly. I don't think it had anything to do with this like feeling of lack of culture, I guess is a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
It was really...
Did you grow up with Bollywood?
So, not really.
Oh.
It was UN night that got me into it.
Because they would want dancers.
Yes. So from grade 9, I was like obviously pulled in because there was never enough Indian boys who wanted to do this.
And you're like,
I'll be like, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then like every year I was like, oh, I really like this. And then I became the president in grade 12.
I'm not gonna lie, did not even know we had a club.
It was like Indian. It was like India. It was like the India Club, which then the main thing was the UN night performance. Because what else did we really do? I don't know.
I mean, in high school,
Yeah.
Right? It was like UN night was like the big thing.
Yeah.
So then I actually ran and choreographed all the dances in grade 12. And like I felt like over time I enjoyed it more and more, and then I was like, oh, this is something I really enjoy.
But that's really interesting because I feel like growing up as an Asian, whether that's South Asian, like
Sure.
East Asian, Southeast Asian, and we've talked about this before on
Yeah.
the podcast, like growing up in an international or more westernized
Yeah.
setting, it's
Right.
like very easy to push back on
Absolutely.
Yeah.
your
Especially, I
local
guess,
culture.
with the fact that your parents were also working towards like a Canadian PR, I guess like it kind of made you think like, is Canada better? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Sure.
versus like India or Indonesia.
Yeah, and we're
Yeah.
exposed to Western media.
Yeah.
Totally.
People want to drop accents. People like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
smells are stigmatized. Foods are stigmatized.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
and
Americanizing
I feel
their
this is
names.
exactly. This is a very unique case of like in 9th grade saying sign me up for like India Club and like Bollywood dance. Like that's
Yeah.
different, I think.
Guess so, yeah. But I still think there's aspects of me that still kept very westernized, right? I still think even the way that I pronounced my name until probably a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the difference in pronunciation?
No, but it's just I think I used to say my name is Nakul. Like it was very Western.
Yeah.
I used to say it in a way that sounded Western
Yeah.
because it's actually, I mean, if you say it in the Indian way, it's Nakul.
Oh.
Right,
Okay,
but-
got it. Nakul.
Nakul. Yeah, but it is, but it you see what
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
kid you're growing up and you're just
Right.
like, no, I want to not say fit in, but you
Yeah.
change you adapt.
Right.
There's certain small things that
Yeah.
you're just like, let me make it easier for others.
Yeah.
Everything you do is how can I make it easier for others? Or it's like
Right.
even when you answer the question, where are you from?
Yeah.
It's what will sometimes it's what will have the less questions
How
back.
can I
Yeah.
minimize this like
Yeah.
confusion and
Right.
yeah.
And it's so sometimes you'll just I probably have said different answers to different people depending on the setting I'm
Classic TCK.
in. Right.
Yeah.
But I think that's
Yeah.
it is depending on who it is. If it's someone that I'm like, okay, no, this person is someone I want to invest time and energy
Yeah.
in, then fine, I'm happy to
Yeah.
to explain my story or to have a bigger conversation
Yeah.
about kind of my background. But if it's someone in passing,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
it's easier just to say what feels like it's the easiest
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point,
Yeah.
right? So,
That's fair.
which I'm sure is similar
Oh.
for many of our peers.
I've done one where somebody's like, "You're from Indonesia? Oh, that's close to India, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, relatively," and I just didn't correct them because I didn't want to deal with the questions of like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Indonesia's in Bali." So
Ah,
I'm
yes,
just like,
Indonesia near Bali.
Indonesia's near India. Yeah, pretty close, pretty close.
Okay, so there were parts of you or parts of your identity that you were like, okay, I'll bend this a little bit,
Right.
make this easier for you, I'll adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were other parts that you really embraced even
Correct.
at a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that actually a lot of parts of Bollywood felt very me. So it's very high energy, it's very expressive, there's a little bit of storytelling, there's creativity. So I just felt like there was a lot of, it's team environment.
Yeah.
It's not a solo dance. Bollywood is very much group
Yeah.
based, it's like team group based dancing.
Yeah.
So it's just quite social with a lot of people. So when I think about a lot of people, also like personally who I am,
Yeah.
I think the reason I was so drawn to Bollywood is because it allowed me to feel like there was a lot of aspects of who I was in this kind of style of dance.
Yeah.
Because there's some that are you can do a bit more solo. There's some that are partnered, but I love the group aspect of what Bollywood brings. Yeah.
What was the community that you found in, I guess, Indian club in high school?
I think for me, community didn't really begin until university. Like I felt like that was when I was that's the dance team where I really felt to understand what community.
You even thought about community. And
No, but that's when I felt like,
Oh,
oh,
when
my
you felt
gosh, like this is such a like.
Well, I guess like bigger school, newer territory.
Yeah, and it was at a different. It was also like I feel like everyone in high school is like my friends are part of it. You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But here you're with people who are 100% invested and are like all really excited. We put on, we're doing performances. And later on, we ended up doing competitions.
Yeah.
We're at times spending 3 to 4 hours every evening, 3 to 4 days a week, like prepping
Wow.
for shows or competitions, and so
Wow.
it's a pretty big investment.
Yeah.
But then you're seeing these people, day in day out.
Yeah.
You're practicing for hours,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
you build like lifelong friendships. Like I've choreographed many of their weddings now, and like
that's
it's like
nice.
right, even today,
Yeah.
like it's I mean
Yeah.
you still keep in touch, and it's that community that you've built. And I was thinking more about it, but I think that space is probably the only space even today where I can still feel probably as close to 100% myself. Is
Oh.
in like a dance team or in a dance room. It's where I don't know how else to
Yeah.
phrase it, but it
Yeah.
just it is the one space where whatever the people in that space,
Yeah.
I felt I can be truly me in many
Yeah.
many ways. Like I don't feel like I have to hide parts of my identity. So like I can be gay, I can be
Yeah.
big energy, I can be whatever it is, and I feel
Yeah.
like in that dance space I can be all those things.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like there
It's
are
even like not an advantage, but like to be high energy, to be willing to like do all of these dance moves and just like go. It's like, oh, you're like, we love you. You're a better performer because of all of these.
right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just an interest. And the more I thought about it, I was like, oh, this is a space even more than my work now, right? Like there are days where I might have families that that may not be as open, or that
Yeah.
I feel like with some of my students I should be more westernized because
Right.
that is what they respect more.
Yeah.
It is unfortunately, there are times where I'm still adapting who I
Right.
am in many different contexts. But once I enter that dance room where I'm thinking my dance team, I feel like I don't
Huh.
need to.
Does it matter who you're dancing with?
But again, these are people who want to be there.
Right.
So maybe if I was teaching, I don't know.
If it were like a compulsory
Yeah.
off-site
Right.
event or something
Right.
like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Then no. But the spaces I'm talking about, the
It's
ones
like
where
all opt-in.
it's all opt-in.
Yeah.
And when it's
Yeah.
opt-in, then you truly feel like you can be you or me in that
Yeah.
space. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
it's been very interesting. Which is
Oh.
why I think that like more than when I stopped it for a few years after COVID, I didn't realize what else I was losing. It wasn't
Yeah.
just the dance, but it was this space where I was able to also be creative.
Yeah.
And it's something else that your passion that you can put some time and dedication to. Yeah. Interesting.
Super interesting. Even now today, I think this is something that I've wondered, like, and in an international school environment, is it a bit more diversified? Like the cultures, are you seeing more cultures being celebrated? Because like back then when we were younger, obviously like the more Western action, because we were in GIS, it was more American culture tended to be more
Yeah.
celebrated or more dominating. But I wonder now in international schools, is it like a bit more, or is the American influence still pretty strong?
I don't know if it's American, but definitely the Anglo or like the
Yeah,
Western.
Western.
Is still
Still.
a dominant aspect of schools, and
Yeah.
also of what is normal. What do we call normal?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we gravitate then to Western
Yeah.
norms
Yeah.
as kind of being like the norm, which is quite interesting. So
I
yes,
think beyond norm though, like
What-
cool.
yes, sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's still
It's like the thing you want to adapt to,
follow.
right?
Right.
Like whether
Yeah.
it's Western or
Well, I think just like yeah.
Western lingo, slang, media.
Yeah. I mean, I think our UWC is very diverse.
Yeah.
Extremely diverse. And I think we do celebrate a lot of the different cultures. And again, like our level, our version of UN Night is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And like seeing all the different dances and cultures is such a beautiful
Yeah.
experience. More so than I think even GIS was
Yeah.
in terms of the different cultures. But I still think a lot of we are still going to be an English speaking based school. A lot of as you said, the norms are still very westernized.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's still
Interesting.
going to be part of these big international schools.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
just even in like regular day-to-day life, like Western Anglo media is still so predominant.
Do you both feel like that you appreciated the cultures that we had at school growing up? Like, did you fully understand? And
I definitely didn't until I went to college. And then it was like, oh, so like I thought in just it was very American.
Mm.
And then I went to BU and I was like, oh, no, we were pretty international. I took things for granted back then, you know? Yeah, I don't know how you felt.
I felt diversity in terms of like, okay, countries represented. I like see different colors around me. I
Yeah.
see different like some nuances here and there in terms of
Yeah.
how people speak and like what people bring to school.
Yeah.
But we all do kind of meld into this like monoculture when you're in an international school space.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Yeah.
TCK
Sure,
like culture,
sure.
but like international school culture
Yeah.
is, I think like it's actually one of the cooler experience that I've had becoming an adult and meeting other students from other
Yeah.
international
Absolutely.
schools and like the ease of connection and the ease
Oh, yeah.
of like finding commonality and things to talk about
Absolutely.
is so there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think it's because we are quite similar fundamentally.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
And I imagine that's what you were
Yes,
sort of
trying to get at. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure how to put it into words, but
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. Well, what has your experience been with that?
I think the
Yeah.
same. I think it is this idea where I don't know if I took advantage
Yeah.
of how diverse the people around me were, but I don't know how I would have done that. Maybe as a 14 to 16-year-old,
Yeah.
like, tell me more what life in Sweden is like, or what is, I don't know, culturally, what it, like, we all go back, it's funny, we all go back to these different countries over the summer, and then we come back, and you might get a little of an update, like, what did
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
do? But then you kind of go back into this, your general day-to-day of
Yeah.
Yeah.
this kind of
everyone's
bubble.
trying to fit in with everyone else.
Sure, correct.
Right?
Correct. But I was sometimes I'm like, could I have taken? I don't know if I could have. Or what are some ways that we could have taken advantage of how diverse it truly was? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's.
I actually feel like you joining India Club and like performing Indian dance and embracing it in this way does kind of,
That's true.
right? Because part of it is seeing other cultures, but another part of it is showing up as your culture and
Yeah.
representing well, right? So
Totally.
I feel like you did that. Okay, so we're now in college and you
Okay.
have found really great community in
Yeah.
dance.
Yes.
And you're competing and you're day in, day out training with them.
Yeah.
Talk about that experience. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of dedication, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it's good. You learn to really deal with different kinds of people because you also have people with lots of different creative ideas. So understand how to balance that. I think it really allowed me. The first couple of years, I was more of just a follow. I joined and I learned the choreography, but again, similar. By the time I got to junior year, I then took on one of the choreographers, and then I ran the team in my senior year.
Yeah.
And I think even just that learning process, if I look at videos of me from high school or first year,
Can we pull some
no,
of
we are
those
never
up?
pulling that out.
Oh, wait, no, I wanna
but
see.
even like if I look at some like the videos of my first couple of years, even at university. To be fair, but I'm probably the best dancer I am today than I was even 10 years ago because I've just kind of always kept it up.
That's impressive.
And you kind of
Because
learn.
that's a long time to keep this up, actually.
Yeah, but I've just never stopped.
Yeah.
What has doing Bollywood dancing for so long, I guess, what has it taught you about Indian culture?
Yeah, because
Yeah, I
actually the way you
know.
talk about it, the dance part of it, the team part of it seems a lot more important than the cultural part of it.
Yeah, I
like,
think
the cultural part
so.
of it almost seems it just happens to be Bollywood.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. I think why I like Bollywood is because it's a fusion of different styles of dance. There's a mix of like classical. You can mix bhangra. You can mix some ras. You can mix some. Actually, even hip hop, jazz fusion is also in there.
Yeah.
And again, I like that it's high energy and
Yeah.
a lot of it's a team environment. And somehow I think because I got into it from high school,
Yeah.
I just kind of kept it going. I also don't think I was exposed to lots of other types of dance.
Yeah.
But it's also because it's a big part of Indian wedding. weddings. And so there's also other avenues for me to continue it in different ways. So beyond UN night, I was also doing it performing it at weddings. And then people are like, oh, like you're quite good. Like, why don't you help choreograph? And then it became like, I ended up doing all of my friends' weddings. and then for a couple of years, I then got paid to do a couple of weddings. And then finally I was like, why don't I start, when I was in Vancouver, like, why don't I start teaching a class? Because once I graduated from, sorry, I'm like stepping past university now, but once I graduated, I'm like, but now there's no more, I can't compete anymore because I'm not a student. It's not really a possibility. Like it's a competitive school thing. So now I'm like, well, how do I keep this going when I can't actually do the big competitive dance teams anymore? And so then that's when I started looking at other avenues of teaching. And there was a staff, so at UBC where I worked after I graduated, there was like a staff well-being program. So one of my colleagues used to offer yoga twice a week. So then I said, what if I start offering a Bollywood
and
class?
how was that?
So it started off small, but then eventually I got like more and more people to join.
Of different backgrounds
Absolutely,
and cultures. Okay.
So people from all, some who were Indian, but some who were not. And it was great. I used to teach, I started off as once a week. And then I ended up doing twice a week at lunchtime on campus. So I'd have to quickly shower before I got, but so I used to do a 50-minute class. But what it was eventually is we made it a Bollywood fitness class.
Oh.
So it wasn't just... So
that's more intense.
So imagine like Bollywood Zumba.
Yeah.
Is kind of what they wanted. So then I was like, okay, let's do that.
Let's give what the people want.
Amanda's actually joined one of my classes online.
I think I joined a few.
Maybe a few classes.
Once you started doing them online in Singapore.
So basically after, I actually ended up teaching for about 4 to 5 years. And then I decided to move to Singapore. Moved to Singapore and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And 3 of them emailed me saying, could you please continue. We'll like transfer you money, but like, can you please just continue your class online?
Whoa.
So I said, okay.
Yeah.
And so then I had like, I don't know how many people were, maybe
I
like,
want to say like 4, 5, 6 sometimes people would call
would
in.
like just call in. And I used to teach basically twice a week online during COVID.
Oh.
They were in Vancouver at home and I was here in Singapore.
I had no idea it was a paid thing.
Oh, it's okay.
Eventually I found out and I was like, oh my god, I have
don't
to
worry.
give all
It's
I want to
fine.
say
It's fine. I was doing it because I loved it.
Yeah.
And they
But
just, I think also like,
very cool of you.
it was also just one of those things where like, if people know they're paying, then they'll show up.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's one of those things where I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to sleep in today. And like,
Yeah.
I've woken up to do the Zoom class that no one shows up for. It's just someone who's like, okay, I've committed to doing this. But I think that it's also very fulfilling, right? The fact that you have people who want to show up and they're reaching out and they're like, they really, to them, it's a highlight of their day.
Yeah.
Is a really nice feeling.
Yeah.
As a teacher as well. And again, it's that people show up and they want to be there, and that's always really, really nice.
Is that, pivoting slightly, but is that also one of the driving factors why you wanted to be like a college counselor specifically?
Kind of.
Like, I mean, you're impacting a student's life significantly. Like, you could change their decision and that could make a huge difference on their life and their experience, right?
Totally. And I think that's partially what was missing because I was in admissions before.
Okay.
And in admissions, you meet lots of students, but you're not actually a pivotal, like you're there kind of help them with some questions, but you might meet someone 2-3 times in the process. And then once they get to campus, I'm already out recruiting the next batch of students. So you're not really part of their journey. Yeah. While I feel like now, you're working with them for 2, sometimes 3 years, really building,
what their next step is going to be.
Totally.
Their next chapter is going to be.
Totally. So, and I think there's a lot of fulfillment in that as well. But I find dance even more fulfilling. And I think that's kind of where I'm like, I want to find more ways to do more. Yeah. I don't know how and what that looks like, but.
So before we jump to that.
Yes.
You did mention that there was a gap.
Yes.
Right? You kind of dropped off and you realized at this point there was a lot more that you lost other than just this group of people that called in. What was that gap? And how
I think for me, when I came when after COVID things opened up, I actually
Yeah.
joined the Bollywood dance class here in Singapore. So I
Okay.
used to join classes and I used to go every week. But I miss teaching. Like and I also like I think it's important to keep learning.
Yeah.
But I also did miss teaching.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how to to really start it up in Singapore when you're not allowed to have multiple jobs.
Yeah.
So I continued with a couple of weddings here and there. Like when I had a good friend had a wedding, I'd say, yeah, sure, I'd happily choreograph.
Yeah.
But you know what? Why I also really love it is because and everyone that knows who I am, and I've met all these friends. Like it's a great way. You know, your wedding you have like 300-400 people.
Yeah.
It's a great way to ice break. It's a great way to like meet people.
Yeah.
You're then there teaching all these people you've never met from halfway across the world. And actually, it's always the non-Indians who are the most dedicated. Because it's like this,
Well, the
it's a
Indians have
novel.
done it, like,
exactly.
every-
They're always just like, oh my god, I have to do it again for
Another
wedding number
one.
25. And they're like, oh my god, I'm done with this. It's fun. You get to meet everybody. And again, as someone who's quite extroverted and social,
Yeah.
I really enjoy being able to connect with people that way and meeting people.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I can totally see that. I mean, it's very much part of your
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah.
I think at this
You
point.
know, at least maybe one tie-in that I get with Bollywood and Indian culture. It's never too much.
No.
Nothing like
No.
the bigger the better.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that like Indian culture, even like food, like the more the better.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so now, 20 years on,
Yeah.
what are you trying very hard at in dance, in Bollywood dance?
Yeah, so I think what's been really, really nice is I've been able to now offer a dance class every week at school. So at UWC, I teach a dance class for staff.
Yeah.
So every Wednesday after school, I have a group of students, not students, or staff who are like super excited to show up. I think what I've tasked myself, which actually is a bigger task than I realized, is I teach a different song every week.
Yeah.
So I come up with a different, like, two-minute choreography every week. You have to know every step and every detail so that when you're teaching it, you know exactly, okay, this is the way I'm moving my hand, this is the way I'm moving my hip. And so it's actually taken me longer than I realized to kind of have that song perfected to the level to be able to teach it step by step in a class.
How much time a week do you invest in?
Coming up with the dance.
Yeah, well, I guess all elements between teaching, choreographing, reviewing.
So it depends on how hard of the choreography I want to do how complex.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably about 3 hours a week of choreography and then an hour of teaching.
What is the craziest, complicated, or like your favorite move? Do you have a favorite / go-to move?
I don't know if I have a favorite move, but I think a lot of it, like, so it can be the speed. There's like so one of the dances which I actually had to spend almost three lessons. Usually I can teach it in one, but I'd spent probably a good about 8 to 10 hours coming up with this super complex routine.
Yeah.
And that they needed 3 classes to learn it.
Wow.
Because there was so much choreography built in a 2-minute routine.
That's great.
Like it was, and there was almost no repetition. So that can be, it's just a memorizing and just knowing, and you can't really miss a step because it's so fast. So that's been really interesting. And then the other thing beyond Bollywood, I'm also trained in something called Ross, which is you use like the wooden sticks.
Okay.
And that is super, super high energy, but it has to be very precise. So it's, the stick's almost like part of your body, and everything is very like, has to be straight. Like when you bend, you bend 90. When you lift your leg, it's at 90 degrees. Everything needs to be perfection at like different angles. But imagine 20 people, kind of like cheerleading.
Yeah.
Imagine cheerleading where everybody is like doing like very,
Like
kind of like very like striking, like just
Sharp.
very
I was
sharp.
gonna say, like
yeah,
hitting
hitting
normally
sharp.
like hitting like pose.
Yes,
like, end
hitting
pose or,
sharp
like,
poses. It's kind of like that, but a lot of like jumping with high knees and like big moves with these, and so that's super fun as well.
Yeah.
But that's really taxing on like cardio.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm also trying to keep up, because and that I've lost a little bit. Like I could do a 10-minute like high intensity ROS routine, no problem, back in like university. Now I'm like, oh,
That was an effort.
yeah. Yeah.
You've spent your career helping young people figure out where they belong
Right.
and where they're going.
Mhm.
So what has dance taught you about where you belong and where you're going?
I think for me, dance has, and I think it goes back to what I mentioned earlier. It's this idea of, I feel like I can truly be myself in that space. I think that's number one. What does that, does it bring you happiness, or what spaces where do you see yourself you're having the most fun, or do you feel like you lose track of time, or you feel like there's nothing else happening in the world around you? I feel like dance is truly one of the few things where I completely forget. Like I can be 2 hours later or 3 hours later, and I'm like, oh, like I could keep dancing for hours, and I can get lost in it, and whether it's the choreography or like the teaching, or it's such a great way to use both your mind and your body.
Yeah.
And I think that balance is something I really, really like, which, I love my also college advising and university advising, but I'm sitting on my ass for like 12 hours a day, and I'm just like probably not the healthiest thing. I try to do walking meetings with my students sometimes.
Cute.
We try, but they usually don't want to opt for it for whatever reason. So
They're like, it's hot.
Yeah, they're like, it's exactly.
enough
We want our air
campus.
exactly. We want your air conditioned room. I'm like, fine, but I think that it's truly that balance. There are aspects of it that are still very fulfilling, right? Because I am there are others who leave the class feeling like, oh, that was I had someone come the other day being like, oh, I look forward to this at the end of the day, right? It's which is really, really nice, and people were super excited, and so that you're still building a community, and you're providing someone something that brings joy in their life, and that's super nice and gives me fulfillment as well. And I think too, I think growing up, also being a closeted, gay, whatever, individual or gay man, even though I didn't, that wasn't a part of me that I told people, maybe at university, even in dance, I still felt like in that space, I was still 100% myself. And that it was really one of the few places where I could still feel very free. Where I felt like in other aspects of my life, especially closeted, I couldn't be that way. And I also feel like more so now. When I did open up, I felt that was one of the first communities that I was able to share that with.
And I guess like you're not, correct me if I'm wrong, when you're in dance, you're not labeled as like gay. Like you're not defined by that. You are like you're just a dancer, and even if you're like a little bit more flamboyant, like no one's gonna question that, right? And so it is the space where you could, I felt so comfortable. Like I felt comfortable in the community, and I just felt like whether it was my Indian side or my gay side or my super energetic side, or even the fact that I'm coming from different, it was a lot of Indian Canadians as well who also had this dual identity in the group, and so there was a lot of us who were just, it allowed us to really just kind of be ourselves in this space that I don't feel like I found in any other environment. So I think coming back to that, like find that community and space where that allows you to be you. And I think that it's not always the easiest thing, but again, that's partially why I wanted to bring this back, and I want to continue finding ways to bring it back. So, and I guess so if anyone feels like they're missing that part of community feel, Nakul's dance classes.
It's super fun. I'm going to find ways to do it outside of school soon. That'd be fun as well. Because I think
it'd be fun to go back to your classes.
It's like, and now that I'm coming up with choreography every week,
You might as well
I have
use it.
so much that I can use in other
You might
settings.
as well.
Might as
Why
well
only use it for 1 hour of the week?
Yeah, I've only really been able to create a sense of community either when I've taught it, and I don't know why that is, but maybe it's something I need to. I wish there were more options
Yeah.
here for sure.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what you try very hard at next, building those options for yourself and for other people that
Yeah.
are looking
Totally.
for them.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm sure you're not the only one in Singapore.
No, and I think
Who's,
there
like,
I think there
seeking
are
out.
a couple other choreographers
Yeah.
that I'm just not, but that are not. They're not. It's again maybe like myself, where like it's not
Right.
You're not
promote.
like, you're not publishing it. It's
Yeah.
not like you're just doing it like word of mouth.
kind of.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there are, but again, it's not the easiest to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really beautiful, actually, how you've described what dance is for you and how authentically you're able to show up as all of these different parts of your personality and also
Totally.
different parts of your past.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Like every chapter of your life, you've kind of like brought a piece of it with you.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard you describe dance in this way before, so.
Look, unfortunately, dance doesn't pay the bills, and I also don't know, if I today were to say, okay, that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
If there's enough scope for me, even in Singapore, for example, where
Yeah.
I could say, okay, I'm gonna leave my college counseling job
Yeah.
to do this full time, right? And I think that is something that I just understand. Maybe
Yeah.
there are other avenues, and I'm looking for other avenues where maybe in the future I can do it a little bit more 50-50.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like maybe I could do private college counseling,
Yeah.
where then I take on just maybe a handful of students, but then I'm able to find more ways to add dance into my life, but knowing that it's okay to find a passion, to keep it in your life, but it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
like
yeah.
your career. I mean, if
Yeah.
it can be, but there are ways that we can balance,
Yeah. This is exactly what we spoke about, that like
Yeah.
your passion doesn't have to be
No.
what you do as a career. You're
Totally.
lucky if you do, but like
But actually, you can keep it more fun
Yeah.
if it's not your career.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to worry about your customers or your clients or what did they want or how are you going to make
you
sure.
just do it for your own
Correct.
joy.
And
And if
it
you
still enhances your life, and
Absolutely.
it helps how you're able to show up at work.
and then if it's not
Totally.
fun
Yeah.
for you anymore, like
Yeah, what's the
no
point?
pressure, like you
Right.
can stop it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I
Pick
can,
it back up again.
Yeah, or as I did, I
100%.
stopped it for a couple of years and I picked it
Yeah.
up again, and I think it's kind of nice to be able to say, hey, this is a passion, and I'm going to do it on my own terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's the most important. But do it. Like don't allow your career to also take up 100% of your time. I've been fortunate to be in a space where I can find 3 to 5 hours a week
Yeah.
to do this, but 3 to 5 hours a week is better than zero.
Yeah.
And I think and look, if you can find a way to get a little bit of extra money on the side to do it, great. But if not, I've done it for free for so many years.
Yeah.
And it still gives you so much.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's something that I love, and it's something I enjoy.
Yeah.
So I think it's about finding it. So even as you go to university, find those things that you're passionate about, or find a place that gives you the academics, but
Yeah.
also allows you to explore the other things that are important to
That's
you.
so important.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about that. Like I can't remember anything I learned in class anymore.
That's
Like I don't know if but what I got out of it was like my part-time job or my dance or
Yeah.
managing a competitive dance team. I probably got better skills
Yeah.
that have got me further in life from
Yeah.
all those extracurriculars I did rather than
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know
true.
Econ 101 like with
Yeah.
500 kids in the room like
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
mean I understand the importance of education, but we learn so much more
Yeah.
Yeah.
in other aspects of our life.
Yeah.
And so I think thinking about what those other opportunities will be available
Mhm.
to you are equally as important, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a great thing to end on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. And I hope that whoever listens takes this seriously, because I totally agree that you need to keep passion in your life in
Yeah.
some way.
Like a life without passion is just dull.
Dull. But thank you so much for coming on
Thank
and
you.
spending
Yeah.
time with us. It
Yeah.
was fun
It was fun.
having
I
this conversation.
wouldn't have had this conversation or known about it without you joining. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Yeah.
Awesome.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.